Just working on my attendance here. And welcome everybody. Happy October. And so the first thing I'd like to do is start with some happy thoughts. And I'm going to pick on somebody because I made an announcement on bingo last night about a 311. So I'm going to ask Karen Kirkwood White if you would talk to me about 311.
I'd be happy to talk to you.
I thought you might.
Yes, this is one of those situations where patience is a virtue. I made a notice of motion back in May of 2019 that we bring 311 to Chatham, Kent. And I just came back from the Civic Center with my 311 mask. So we're launching 311 today, and that 311, that 3-digit number will replace 519-360-1998. So you don't have to remember a 10-digit number. You only have to remember a 311 to get access to the municipal services. So, yep.
Wow.
Well worth the wait, Karen.
It was 17 months.
17.
These things take time.
Yeah, they do. Congratulations. I'm glad you got that finally through, and it's nice to have today and in place and
Yeah.
have that available to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Any other happy thoughts?
Yes, I'm going to, I'll put my hand up.
Okay, I'll take you and then Tom. Tom's being polite. Go ahead, Barry.
Well, I took the initiative to call Eddie Mariconda in the last week, and he of course he was president of the club back in the early '80s. He reminded me, and he closed down Boys and Herd men's store in downtown Chatham, actually just ahead of when COVID started, and then he sold the property, and so it's all about timing. But I didn't know that he'd had a heart attack, and it was quite serious. But I'll tell you, when I was talking to him, he was Eddie Mariconda feisty. He had opinions on everything, and
That's Eddie.
So I was real pleased that we had the conversation, and I would encourage others to give him a phone call. He's ready. He's certainly ready to talk. And by the way, he's 87, 88 years old.
Well, that's glad that he was able to get out just in the nick of time. That happened for me too. So it makes things a lot easier to cope with. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Tom McCarthy.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to report that my granddaughter, Kiva, will be visiting us this weekend, that she is back in Canada from Mexico at the order of her mom's employer, the Ontario Trade Commission. And so it'll be a pleasure to celebrate her 3rd birthday with us, which also happens to be the day before Thanksgiving.
That'll become a very busy little household there, Tom. Any other happy thoughts? Allison, please.
Just wanted to say it was very nice to see Charles on the call.
Very nice.
Charles Seaman, I think, is in the grid.
Yeah. Under Peggy's name.
Oh, perfect.
We'll take it
figure it
any
out.
way we can get you, Charles.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah.
Good to see you, Charles.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I've got a happy thought, and I'll thank Tony Hill for this one. This morning, the bingo buckets came in, and there was a total sellout at Ann's Convenience. They get 300 tickets, and they sold them all out. So Tony was picking up some additional tickets to take them back out to hopefully have them ready for maybe 325 this week. We'll see. So,
And I noticed a friend of mine won. That's great. Valerie Haggerty won.
Oh, Valerie was just in the office picking up her check a few minutes
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
So that's good on the bingo front. The sales are doing well, and a couple more buckets in. I'll have my September stuff ready to give you a good report on. I think at this point I can safely say we had 2 weeks out of the 5 in September where we were over the $1,000 sales, and I believe Rick Bednarik will be making his wife happy once he gets his counts in there, because there's a bit of a shave, I believe, coming up. So we'll wait to see how that goes. Back over onto regular business. So October 5, Peter Cook had a birthday, and no anniversaries for this week to report. I do want to give a note. Allison has worked some on the Pizza for Polio. Thank you very much, Allison, for picking up on that. We will celebrate it. World Polio Day will be October 24, but we'll celebrate Pizza for Polio on October 28. So please go out and get your pizza, either for dinner or for lunch or for whatever time, but October 28. We'll get a list of the vendors who are participating, and we'll get that circulated and maybe get that onto Facebook, and we can announce it on our Rotary Bingo and really push the Pizza for Polio. So thanks again, Allison. Allison, you have a message?
I'd just add that if anyone has, I've assigned all the pizzerias who participated last year, and I can send that around in an email if I have folks calling, but if there's anyone that you have a personal connection to, let me know, because it's always easier to call someone and ask for that help with a warm lead as opposed to a cold one. So if you happen to know a pizzeria locally, I'll email the list out after our meeting, and if there's someone that jumps out at you, that would be obviously helpful to have a more friendly call. We're all friendly, of course, but if you have a knowledge or a connection to a specific one, or if there's any that are missing that you think might want to participate, this is a different year with COVID, so not everyone might be able or comfortable with participating, but hopefully we'll get a good turnout. And the reason why we're not doing it on World Polio Day is because Saturday is too busy for them, and I think it's they would prefer having it on a day where it's less busy and also gets more people in the door for their business too. So I think it's, to make it most successful, the Wednesday after was the best date, and I hope we can all enjoy some pizza that day.
Yeah, I like it following on the Wednesday for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Brett.
Okay. Just a note. Yesterday, Bruce and Tony and I paid a visit to the Links of Kent. They're having a little bit of a storage issue, and we have a couple of large boxes in our podium there. We took the innards of the big box and we stored them in the back of part of the Foresight Travel building. And but we're just checking to see if anybody has available space where we could tuck the podium and the box for a little bit. We're welcome to bring it back in there when we are meeting at the Links of Kent. And they were pretty good about not trying to rush us out, but to be appreciated. We had many tables, many chairs stacked up and around the equipment, and because it is on the larger side. So if anybody has some space, let me know, and we'll try to get it moved out to accommodate their wishes at that time. The other thing I just wanted to mention, if anybody could help us out with our Keep in Touch, it's sort of doing what Barry had done, getting a hold of people, in this case, Eddie Mariconda, but we just want to make sure we're keeping in touch with any of our members that are not able to join us on Zoom. So not saying it's going to be that big of a job, but I would just like to set up to grab one or two of our names and maybe once a month touch base with them, just see how they're doing and things like that. I was very happy to get the message from Charles to make sure that he had the appropriate thing to sign in with us today. Some may not agree with me, but he's looking pretty good, I think. So I'm very glad to have Charles with us. Now, moving on to the meat of the meeting, we have been able to talk Hewie, Eugenia Echeverria, into presenting to us today. So I'm going to, because we don't have a Rotarian in place that was here at the time that or housed Hewie or anything like that. So I'm just going to let her tell us about her life after Youth Exchange. And as we can see, she's proudly moved into the Rotary world, and hopefully, Hewie, you'll be able to give us all the details about how Rotary has changed your life and Exchange and things along that line, if you would, please.
Thank you, President Brett. It's an honor to be here with you today. Thank you for having me. I was telling Allison that this is not what I usually do, talk about myself. I usually give speeches about something else, but thank you for giving me this opportunity. As you know, I come from a family of Rotarians. My father is a Rotarian still. My mother was a Rotarian. My grandfather, Mario, he was a Rotarian for over 50 years. My husband was a Rotarian too. My brother at one point, my daughter, Catalina, she's a in Rotary right now. So my uncle and my aunt and my father and mother-in-law are in Rotary as well. So as you know, wait a second, I have to do this again. My life in Rotary started ever since I was a little kid. So this is actually what my family looks like now. My husband Ricardo, my son Ricardo Jr., Catalina, and that's me. And this is my father, my mother, my brother Mario, who comes after me, Antonio, and Prissy, who is no longer with us. She passed away a month ago due to cancer. Let me do this like this. In 1987, I had the opportunity to go with the Rotary Youth Exchange program to your district, and I was hosted by several families. Usually, students had 4 families appointed during the year, but I ended up staying with 6. 2 of those, one for 1 month, and the second one for a week. The problem was that my host families were travelers, so when it was time for me to move in with them, they were either traveling or they had to go to a trip they already had planned. So I live with the Carols, I live with the Eastmans, I live with Keith and Marty Koke, of course, with the closest. The closest were not a Rotarian family, and it was my first host family. And I ended up living with who became my best friend all time there, Carolyn Barnes. At that time, now she's Carolyn McLeod, and Linda Thompson. I remember going to the meetings, and this was the last meeting I went to at your club. And the piano was there, and everybody sang, and it was a very good time whenever we went to the Rotary meetings. One of the things that I remember dearly is the trip that we took through the United States. We went from Ohio to California and all the way back to Michigan by bus, along with another exchange students from all over the world. There were 3 whole buses full of exchange students, and there were only 6 chaperones. I don't know how they did it, but they managed to take us to all these amazing places, national parks, rodeos, military academies, baseball game. They took us to Disney World, even Disneyland in California, Yosemite Park. It was an amazing trip. One of the best highlights of my trip back in '87. These are some of the friends that I made over there, and that are still in contact with me. Last year, I had the opportunity to celebrate along with them our 50th birthday. So this is the most recent picture I have with them, and we all met in Roatan in Honduras to celebrate it. So as you can see, after 33 years or so, we're still friends, and that's one of the best things that have happened because of Rotary in my life. Before I joined Rotary here in Costa Rica, I had the chance to participate in an event, an exposition, and I did what I did there was selling toys, and the funds raised for that was for a cancer gastric prevention campaign. In 1997 and 1998, my father became a district governor, and he named me his executive secretary, and I helped him along that year, making sure that all the clubs got the correspondence and the letter of the governor that was printed at that time and sent by mail to the other 3 countries that are part of our district, Panama, El Salvador, and Nicaragua. So at the end of the year, in 1998, when he was about to leave his term as governor, he had the opportunity to put my Rotary pin on my chest. Even though I was not, I joined another club that it wasn't his. Oops, I don't know. Okay, so on June 28th of 1998, I became a Rotarian at the Alajuela Rotary Club. In that club, I remained for about 10 years. And in 1999, I helped form the Belen Rotary Club, which is the club that I'm now part of. In that year, I also served as assistant governor, even though I wasn't that experienced in Rotary things. The year that I served along with my father as his secretary taught me a lot. So this governor from Nicaragua, he had me as a rep for him in 1999. I don't know, something's going on with it. Let me see if I can change this. Are you listening to the audio? Well?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay. In 2001 and 2002, we held the first Rotarian Institute in Costa Rica. and I was part of the organizing committee over there, and I was appointed as an aide to the President Richard King, who came here with his wife, Jerry, and Gary Wan and his wife also came for that meeting. We also had the opportunity to meet in that occasion with President Canseco, the Mexican president of Rotary International, who launched the polio campaign. And we were right in the middle of the event when the bombing of when the airplane crashed, when the airplanes crashed in New York. So it was a very hectic situation when we were having this institute at the same time, and they didn't know if they were going to be able to leave the country. We had to move really quick. It was something else. In 2001 and 2002, I served as director of International Avenue at my club. When I held that position, I got pretty good doing writing matching grants over there. So I wrote about 10 matching grants and raised more than $500,000 in aid to my community. We did a lot of donations, book donations for public schools, libraries. We also began to work with the Wheelchair Foundation. I think at this time, I've been involved in more than bringing into the country 10 wheelchair containers or more. I also was chair of the district at the Youth Exchange program for a while, and the scholarships committee. And at that time, there was this paper, the Rotary World. It was a newspaper of Rotary before computers and internet. And they interviewed me and put this article about the role of me as the scholarships committee president in the year 2000, and that was in the year 2002. In 2000, from 2002 to 2005, I was club secretary for 2 consecutive periods, and I organized the first microbanking project in Alajuela. The matching grant amount was about $10,000, and it's still working today. That's one of the great projects that we have over here, the microbanking revolving loans is what they call them now. And I started a relationship with the Portland Rotary Club in Oregon. So that helped me a lot because the following year in 2006, I was appointed by the district governor to serve as a GSE team leader. And so we went to Washington and Oregon. And we spent 33 days over there, even though my kids were very little at that time. I had the most wonderful help from my husband, and allowed me to go for 33 days abroad with these wonderful people. The 3 girls, including me, were from Costa Rica, and this guy was from Panama. And they took us everywhere. They treated us very nice. We had to speak in front of every club that we visited, and it was a magnificent experience. They took us touring and everywhere. We went to Astoria, we went to Pendleton. We didn't make it to Seattle, but we were all over Oregon, and it was great. Although we went to Mount St. Helens in Washington. In 2006, after that, when I came back, I was again appointed as assistant governor to a district governor from El Salvador. I united the clubs in Costa Rica to work in a national project for the first time ever. And we did book and wheelchair donations in cooperations with several clubs from California in the USA. They decided they wanted to come and see that this project was what we said it was going to be. And so they came along with 100 Rotarians, and I tried to organize that. I did end up organizing that trip over here for them. This is a recognition they gave me for my job as a assistant governor that year. Then in 2008, I moved to the Rotary Club of Belen, which is closer to my house, and that's one of the reasons I was able to found that club. In 2009, I was named director of the International Avenue and did some more matching grants for public schools and more wheelchair containers. In 2012, I was proposed as a candidate for district governor, but I was not elected then. In one of the projects that I'm prouder of is the inclusive park for disabled kids in San Rafael de Alajuela. I'm going to show you some pictures over that later. That's one of my favorite projects that I had to lead. And it has 5 different models for kids with wheelchairs. They can swing and have fun in their wheelchairs and have a normal activity like other kids do. In 2016, from 2016 to 2018, I was president of the Rotary Club of Belen. The second term, I was able to get the Rotary mention, as I did when I was president with the Alajuela Club, when I was president then. In 2018, 2019, I was assistant governor to Francesca Audia from El Salvador. So I've been an assistant governor 3 times, 2 for people that were from El Salvador and 1 for the governor in Nicaragua. We rotate our governors every year, so each country gets to have a governor each year. I've been, well, that year, President Racine came to Costa Rica, and I was appointed as his aide too. Right now, I'm the president of the district committee for membership, and at my club, I'm the sergeant at arms, and I also became the facilitator of leadership of the Leadership Institute in Central America just recently. So we're giving talks to clubs about different topics. Wanted to share some of the pictures, some of the Rotary moments that I have lived with my club. This is the inclusive park that I was telling you about. It has seesaws, it has for wheelchairs, and swings for wheelchairs too. This is a project that we do every year, and it consists of going with a team of dentists to far away location from the Central Valley, and we go to the school and they make sure that the kids have a proper dental care. This is the microbanking project in a meeting that we had with them when I was president. The other day we went to clean up a beach, and so this is when we were working, and this is right after. And the wheelchairs is one of the projects that our club is most fond about it, and we usually work in education and with health issues mainly around here. This was last Saturday, I'm sorry, and we were giving away food for people that had lost their jobs, and have nothing to eat right now because of the situation. This is the inauguration of the disabled park for kids, and I was being interviewed for a TV station over there. At that time, I had an accident and I was using this, so I almost used the the swings over there. These are more Rotary moments at the district conferences, and when President Barry Racine came over here. We also have this is when we are working with the dentist, cleaning the equipment for them and everything. So we kind of became assistants to dentists. Books that we have been given to different schools. I've been invited to talk over many clubs, not only here in Costa Rica, but in the States as well. This was on a talent show, and I made some jokes over there and see if I could make people laugh. Stand-up comedy was for my first time I tried, so they applaud me at the end, so I guess I did it all right. This was my the last governor that I was serving as her assistant. This is my daughter, and one of the projects that we did last year, we painted this this wall with the Rotary values, and as part of a campaign that we have in Latin America, and it's called Rotary Paints. So we try to spread the word of Rotary, doing some painting. Some people do murals, some people paint schools and other buildings that are needed. This is more Rotary moments. This is at the Antigua convention, by district convention, last March. That was the last trip I was able to take this year with the pandemic, and we were in Antigua, Guatemala. They had this nice fair over there, and these are my fellow Rotarians of my club that after we finish up giving wheelchairs, we decided to take a trip to the beach, because we ended up near the coast giving away wheelchairs. And I wouldn't be an exchange student if I didn't have my proper Rotary pin collection. So this is some of the pins that I have been able to gather around the years. And these are some of the Rotary recognitions that I have received along the years. I'm a Paul Harris Fellow +3 right now. And some of the Rotary events that I have participated, district conferences in, and institutes, international institutes, and pets and Rotary assemblies. So this is a little bit of what I have been doing in Rotary since I joined in 1998, and we love working with clubs internationally, and we would love to work with the Chatham Rotary Club if possible sometime. And the reason why I picked the music that I picked by Smokey Robinson, just to see her, is because it reminds me when I was there. It came up when I was an exchange student back in 1987 in the summer, and where I was living, Kyrilin put it over and over and over until we learned it. So it always reminds me of my time there. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and if you want to ask any questions, I'm here.
Okay, so if you can raise your hand, I'll get you collected, and we'll start with any questions for Hewie. Any hands going up? Tom Story, please.
Thanks, Huey. That was great. It was nice to see that photo when you were of your host family. I knew all those people. Well, I shouldn't say knew. Most of them are still around, thank God. But I noticed you were president from 2016 to 2018 in the Belen Club. Is that the normal period for a president in your club? Like, has everyone served 2 years?
No, actually, that was pretty unusual. Like, what we do is that we elect the president and a vice president. And the president that we had for the year 2016 and 2017 ended up quitting 3 months after she assumed the presidency. So I took over, and I was appointed to go over the next year. So they decided I was doing a pretty good job, so they let me stay for another year.
Yeah, I hope, Brett, your heart didn't skip a beat when I asked that question.
Yes, sir, it did.
Don't get any ideas, Brett.
Yeah. Paul Watson, you had your hand
don't
up.
appoint someone that doesn't finish their term.
Yeah, I would have to go back, I guess. So we're not going to Brett do that. He's doing a great job. Thank you, Hewie. That was a great presentation. Do you have any ideas at this time with respect to international projects that you would be looking for some assistance? Right now, we're pretty active in Guatemala, but maybe in the future there may be some opportunities.
Well, we are we always have projects on the schedule. The other day that you had the guy from Australia talking about toilets in public schools. We have a project similar to that. There are still around 60 schools in Costa Rica that doesn't have a proper sewer system for not only for their kids, also for their teachers. So we are trying to get clubs interested in that kind of project too, and see if we can help get rid of that problem. It's not as bad as it is in India, but still, you know, they have to go outside, and there's not a sewer system, and you know, with this country, in this country, it rains a lot, and so going outside just to get to the bathroom and not proper sanitary conditions is terrible. We also we're always looking for wheelchairs, even though right now we are in the middle of giving up 100 more wheelchairs that we have. We received a container this year at the beginning of the year, and because of the COVID-19 situation, we haven't been able to go and deliver all of them. So and the and the people that put up the container together with us wanted to come and deliver some of them with us too, and they haven't been able to do so. And they are from Florida, and they're not still allowed into the country yet. So that's one of the things that we're looking forward. We're working on a global grant right now with clubs from the States to equip a school for girls that with computers. These are low-income, high-risk girls that live in a very poor part of the city, and they go to this school and they receive classes and computer classes. They get the bachelor degree. They also receive cooking classes, and it helps also to people that are head of households, women that are head of households, and they go there after this high school classes are over and learn different things that they can do to provide funds for their families. So we're working on those things. If any of those things appeal to you, or we're always open to new projects and any suggestions. We are a club that even though we're only 17 people, we move a lot, and we're very enthusiastic, and we usually have great participation of our Rotarians. We have had plenty of international experience, so that's where we stand right now.
Great. Peter Tanner?
Hi, Hewie. I was wondering, did you hear about the details of the project in Guatemala that our club is leading, where we're providing digital Wi-Fi hotspots with huge libraries, digital libraries, to schools in remote Guatemala?
I think they talk about a little bit about that in when I was in Guatemala in the district conference.
Actually, well, there's our project's a little bit different from the big one that's in Guatemala, the Guatemala Literacy Project. This is in much more remote parts of Guatemala. Anyway, I was wondering if you wanted a briefing on that at some time.
Some projects going on at the Atitlan Lake.
No,
area. No?
This is northwest Guatemala, Huehuetenango area, and we're actually planning one in northeast Guatemala in Petén.
Close to Tikal, around that area?
The northwest one is close to Barrias, which is near the Mexican border, and the northeast one is close to Flores, well, in the area of Flores, in Petén.
Okay.
I can send you some information if I can get your email.
Sure. I will write it down here at the
Okay,
chat.
thank you.
Okay. Barry Fraser, you had a question? Whoops, you're on mute.
Excellent presentation, Hewie. I can well remember when I saw that photo of you sitting on the knee of Santa Claus. That flashback, and at that time you were just an excellent exchange student to our club, and you obviously almost 30 plus years now. It's getting close to 35 years ago that you were here, I suspect. Yeah. And time goes on, doesn't it? But you know, you've carried on the family tradition of Rotary in the genes. And you certainly carry the Rotary passion as you do outstanding work in Costa Rica. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, have had great examples, great mentors. I lived all my life around Rotary, and my father is very much in love with Rotary ever since I can remember. And he's been setting up this example of service above self, not only within the Rotary Club, but within his life. So there's that example that I have to follow. I think that I wish I could pass on that tradition also to my kids.
Any other questions, please? Allison?
That was a very detailed presentation, Hewie. Great job.
Thank you.
It's, I'm not sure how you have time to do anything else based on your Rotary involvement, but I can certainly relate. My dad is also a Rotarian, and certainly my grandpa and a few other family members, so I can certainly appreciate you probably didn't have a choice, even though it was still a good choice, obviously. And we were president at the same time, really? 2016-17. So that would have been, I'm sorry I didn't realize that then. We could have had perhaps some field trips, some presidential road trips, something like that. What is the status of, how is the diversity in your club from men to women? Just curious, as other clubs, how the breakdown is.
The club right now has more women than men. and it's not because it's an only women club. It's just the way it happens. And two of the men that are over there are husbands, and their wife is also a Rotarian. So it's funny, but it works. We have 5 men in our club, and the rest are women. Right now, we have a candidate that is probably going to join, and he's a young man. He's about 30, and we hope that he will join. We have this Saturday here at my house the ceremony for the new president. We haven't been able to do it, so we had to wait all this long. And so my house is usually like the second, the clubhouse. That's what they call it. Meetings are held over here. We have a big patio and a big garden with along with 6 dogs and 2 cats. So it'll be crowded on Saturday, but whenever you want to come, really, you will probably come and end up here visiting my house.
Well, my mother-in-law lives in Costa Rica now, so she's keen on us traveling there for a visit whenever it's safe to do so. So now I have 2 places to go.
Yeah. Where does he live? She lives in the coast, right?
Yes, I have it written down. It's not a familiar place, but I could send it to you in a note to see if it's where you are.
Yeah.
And Hewie, can you tell us where is it, Belen, where it is?
Belen is very well located. It's about 15 minutes away from the international airport. And it's in the middle, like in the middle of the country, close to San Jose. San Jose is only about 20 kilometers away from Belen. It's about the same distance to Alajuela. And we're part of the province of Heredia, which the center is also about 10 kilometers away. So we're like right in the middle of the action in the Central Valley.
Okay. Any other questions for Hewie? If you don't mind, I have one more. So when you work on your international projects, how far across Costa Rica do you cover, like where your projects take place?
We have been going all over. Actually, the clubs here are not too territorial, so they don't mind if we go close to the borderline to Panama or close to the border with Nicaragua. So we have been all over. It depends on where they ask help from. And like you saw, the wheelchair project that we went to the coast, that's about 4.5 hours away from where we live. And so we move over there. When we go with the dentist, it's usually about a 3-hour drive. So the advantage that we have in our country is that in about 5 hours you will be from Belen to either borderline. It's really small. So, you know, moving over there is a matter of logistics, and since we are considered more than a club, we consider the club, we treat them almost as family. So we ended up having a lot of fun all the time, and we love to take trips together. When we go to district conventions, there's a large group of our club that goes. More than half of the Rotarians go to different events. So, you know, we are very close, and we have an excellent relationship with one another. So that makes it easier.
Great. So I think we've covered all of our questions. I just want to probably echo everybody's sentiment and say thank you very much. When I was hoping to have you speak as Life After Exchange, I did not realize how much of a Rotary life you had. starting probably from Exchange, or actually earlier, since your family has always been in it. So Youth Exchange was just one of the catalysts, I think, that got you going, and very nice to see that you haven't stopped. I'm hoping your daughter enjoys her time at Rotaract. And is that a pretty active club as well?
Yeah, well, actually, it had to be relaunched last year, and she assumed the presidency as, and they started with 2, but right now they have about 11 members. So, and they have been getting involved and doing projects. We went up to clean up that beach 2 weeks ago with them, and so I hope that it will gain more strength and have more members involved in the near future.
Yeah, is that Rotaract Club part of a college or university, or?
No.
No?
There are several members that are siblings of our Rotarians, so that's how we started it again.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much from our club, and possibly we'll find something in the future that we can work towards. And I'm afraid everybody's going to jot down where Belen is and say, when we go to Costa Rica, we got to squeeze in a visit with you. So hopefully look forward to finally, if we get to move, somebody would have the opportunity to come and see you. And thank you again.
It will be wonderful working with you in the future.
All right. Following this meeting, we do have a Youth Mental Health Committee meeting, so we'll have that coming up. Julia, are you with us? If you would close out our meeting, please.
I'm here.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Julia. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And we'll say goodbye to all that are leaving, and hang on there for the rest. And we'll move into our next little meeting to take place. Thanks again, Hewie. Really appreciate your information.
Thanks,
Thank
Hewie.
you.
That was great.
Thank you.